display of skill.
Exterminate. Exterminate.
Over here!
Welcome to your doom.
Let's have some real fun.
Game over.
LCL at 12 o'clock. Bombs away.
What? Impossible.
Playtime's over.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're still watching the LoL Collegiate League 2016 Summer Term Group Stages, and we are back after a weird game coming from UST and ADDU.
Ay, akala ko yung nakita nating trailer ng mga arcade skins.
Oh, no.
Lugi kasi si Baker at si Blitzcrank kay 3v2.
well, mga video game bosses naman sila. But yeah,
Okay.
that last game was so
Masyado
weird
hindi,
coming
no?
from
Oo.
Ateneo and UST.
That Jin jungle. So weird. Weird picks. You have the Cho'Gath jungle. Sabi nga ni Mr. Iconic kanina. Sa tingin ko lang talaga yung Cho'Gath dapat nag-AP type na lang. You have the Maokai naman to Embrom para tangkehin yung mga damage. You have the Unbreakable naman. And I think that's enough para matangke yung mga curtain call at yung final spot na nilalabas ng ADDU.
Nahirapan talaga later in the game ang UST. The Tigers, hindi nila na-execute ng maayos yung composition ng laban sa Ateneo de Davao.
Yep.
Tapos nagprobinsyano gaming
Yun
lang
na nga nakita
Jin
tayo ng mga matitinding baril-barilan.
Yummy,
FPS.
lafang caramel.
Huwag mo simulan sa mga ganyan, parang Atlas. Pero mga papi chulo, ito na ang ating Game 2 para sa ating Match 2 for tonight. Makikita natin, let's go into the pick and ban phase. Kita na natin tapos na ang bans dito para sa side ng Ateneo de Davao University. You have the Gangbang, Fiora, and the Zac. And para naman sa kabila, you have the Vayne, the Lux, and the Chundo.
These are pretty standard bans coming from Rite of Passage. Gangplank's very strong. Fiora, also one of the more powerful top laners that are performing well, at least in the LCL. Zac, very common here in the Philippines. You've seen AX use it, a lot of teams. It's a very versatile jungler. One of the most versatile junglers ever. On the side of Tigers, though, Vayne, Lux, Trundle, they are scared of those picks coming from Rite of Passage, so they do want to block those out. And their picks, though, are something entirely different.
It's different now ngayon, mga papi chulo. First pick para sa ADDU, you have the Maokai, and naku po, you do not give Soraka to ADDU.
Oh.
You do not give Soraka to ADDU dahil isa yan sa mga ace champions ng kanilang support na si Carly. Ayan yung type ng Soraka na sobrang aggressive sa bot lane. Parang Atlas. Yan, napanood ko yan si Carly, ganyan.
You can use the snare. The silence and snare is really crippling for these caster supports, which I think they'll be going for either the Karma or the Morgana, which are both these mage supports that suffer a lot from the loss of their spells. In a very brief moment, Gosu can follow up.
Yeah. And knowing na, ito ngayon, pinili ng mga both teams natin ngayon, yung mga champions na medyo binago ng onte. You have the Ricochet na medyo ni-nerf ng onte. Yung Morgana Black Shield, parang Atlas, dinagdagan ng range 50. So, ibig sabihin, mobility is real dito sa side ng UST. Meron kang dashing na Irelia with the equilibrium strike outplay with the transcendent blades. You have the on the hunt ni Mr. Severe. You have ngayon yung last pick nila na Elise na merong spider's wing
Lots of
technique.
pressure. Pag pinagsama mo yung defiance ng Karma dun sa On the Hunt, that's so much speed. You can just run over the Soraka and just get to their carries.
Ang dami ng shield. You have the spell shield, the black shield, and the inspire for the side of UST. Mga chika babes! Yung mga pinik nila dito, mga kaibigan, walang mga lalaki. All hail the women's. Who run the world, women's.
Okay, yeah. On the side of Rite of Passage, however, they have a very, very sustained composition here.
Yeah.
You have the Maokai, who has his own form of HP recovery. So does George on that. Gragas. Tapos, later in the game, or pag-abot na level 6 ng Soraka, they have the global heal to help them with the fights. So, they have lots of pressure as well.
Oh,
nga pala.
Once again.
Hindi pala jungle Gragas.
Once again. Isa pa. Once again.
Pero
Coco Martin is in the house.
Yummy.
Coco Martin. I don't know what to say.
Magugulat talaga ako pag hindi na alam ng Tele Tigers kung paano responde dito sa... Oh, okay.
Akala ko.
Oy!
Kinabahan. Pinano lang tayo. Pinatikit tayo ng caramel.
Just a little tease, you know. But yeah, actually, this composition now is actually very, very decent. Very, very good. You have a lot of these very tanky picks in the Maokai and the Gragas. 2 frontline is enough.
Yep.
And you have 2 really high DPS champions, the Jin, who are the Jin and the Ezreal. They can deal a lot of damage from afar. The Soraka's there for the medic duty if ever they need to do.
Actually, ito yung gustong lineup ng ADDU. Yung kanina sa pinagsasabi namin ni Shinbu and ni Alpha doon sa analysis desk. Trip ng mga, ganito yung mga trip na lineup ng ADDU. Yung the heavy sustain and with the merong damage and merong form of disengage. Lalo na kung dumating yung late game. Kasi yung game style nitong ADDU sobrang kapag dikit-dikit sila at naprotektahan nila yung ADC nila, wasak ang edge sa shrine para sa kanila at binigay pa ng UST si Soraka kay Mr. Carly.
Soraka is gonna make it really hard for UST to push through the front line. Because you can't ignore their front line. Gragas and the Maokai, even though they are tanks, they deal decent enough damage to be a threat. But you also can't ignore the backline. You have to find a way to get through them. And I think that's why they picked out the Sivir comp. They have the Sivir, they have the Defiance coming from the Karma. It's a lot of speed boost. They can elect to ignore the front line if they can kill the Ezreal and the Jhin fast enough.
Yeah, and meron pang actually medyo may pagka-pick composition tong UST, no? You have the Elise sa Cocoon technique, mga papichulo. So very mobile champions for UST. Pero yung late game security sa tingin ko for the side of ADDU. Pero hindi pa rin natin alam. Magkaiba. Very high risk, high reward actually. Itong lineup na naman ng UST. Malalambot sila lahat mga chika babes. Champions nila, best. Meron silang Black Shield. Ang sino top nila? Irelia.
Top lane will be Irelia, who is a little bit of she is very tanky as a champion. However, she's more on the late game
Assassin,
carry
diba?
type, bruiser
type
fighter. But yeah, even though a lot of them are squishy, they have so many shields. Defiance has denied so many kills in the LCL and even in the PGS. So they have to take note of that. They can't underestimate the form of damage reduction that Team UST has. The Tele Tigers really do have a shot here.
Kaya. Oo. Kailangan lang nila talaga ma-burst in the early to mid game and ma-convert nila yon into a win. Pero who knows? Mga kaibigan, masyado ma-action. Match 2 pa lang to. Meron pa tayong match 3 mamaya, 4 tonight. Yun ang sinasabi natin, mga papi chulo. And para sa mga medyo lonely people dyan, malapit ng Pasko. I mean,
buwan pa yun.
Para sa mga parang umaalpa and umaatlas dyan. Joke lang. Pero, punta kayo sa PGS Rift official community page ng Garena League of Legends Pro Gaming Series natin, mga kaibigan. Kung nag-iisa kayo sa buhay, actually kapag naglalaro, nag-iisa kayo, medyo hindi kayo lumalabas, parang si paring Atlas.
I came here from home.
Oo nga. Mag-post lang kayo dyan, parang mga tol, laro tayo, ganito yung rank ko, hindi ako toxic. Magkakaroon kayo ng mga bagong friends dyan.
Yeah, it's a lot more fun to play League of Legends if you're with friends or
Friends,
people
yeah.
who are you going to be friends with.
Yun na nga.
Because solo queue, it kind of gets
Yun
really
nga. Mas
toxic.
masaya pag hindi kayo magkampi ni Alpha sa laro.
Oh yeah.
Mas
Alpha is
masaya.
the saltiest caster in Garena Philippines.
Mas masaya. Kung meron tayong dumbbells, meron naman tayong barbell. Kumbaga, ewan, double,
Daig pa yata ni Rojin yung mga barbell.
alam mo, yung double A battery, heavy duty battery yan. Masyadong, ewan ko. Easy, Bobby D. So, medyo nagpipix-pix lang tayo, mga kaibigan. I would like to send my shout-outs to the Portkey events, mga kaibigan, para sa mga Harry Potter fans dyan, to Miss Catherine De La Cruz and Mr. Pao Castillo. And shoutout na rin kay Mr. Ricky Benedicto sa kanyang place, Hercules. Malapit na yan sa lahat mga theater fans dyan. Check out Hercules sa Facebook.
Of course, the LCL is sponsored by Smart. This would
Ayo.
not be possible without them.
Yun
So
na
far,
nga.
just kind of talk about LCL in general. The games have always been so explosive. Each game in the matchups for today have been crazy. It's either a really heavy stomp, a really close game, or really troll like that Jungle Jin matchup earlier.
Pero hindi troll eh. Parang ano talaga
Yeah.
legit eh. Legit.
They really underestimated that pick, and that's really the mindset you have to do here in esports. Is even though they pick something really weird, like say Teemo mid with the Jin jungle, plus they have a top lane Soraka or something, you can't underestimate that because it's all about how you execute the compositions.
I want that Teemo mid. Kapag ako naglaro dyan, tayo mga company na Alpha, alam ko naman matatalo eh. Pero hindi kami magpapatalo.
Let's not talk
Let's
about
not
that.
talk about it.
I'm triggered.
Shoutout kay Mr. Jack Reed na nakalaro natin isang beses dito sa wala eh, na double A kami eh.
Ikaw kaya...
Ang double A kasi sa battery, malakas masyado yun eh. Malakas yung bigat. Kaya, ewan ko.
Ikaw yung nagsabi na, chat mo yung kaibigan mo. I was like,
No.
kalaban ko ngayon si Jack Reed. Wawasakin namin.
Hoy, wala ako sinasabi.
Tapos pagkatapos,
wala ako.
dude, anyari sa wasak. But yeah, it's all about the mindset.
It's all about the
You
mindset.
can't underestimate your opponents. You always have to be completely aware of your surroundings.
Yummy
Nagi.
ballers, tama-tama. Para sa mga watchers natin dyan sa YouTube and sa Facebook, don't forget to share the link. Pang 100 times na ata nasabi natin yung support the community, support esports. I would like to say my shoutouts to Riku, Amplifier, Shinbu, Aika, and Mr. Alpha na nandoon ngayon sa MOA na naglalakbay. Kung ano
Naglalakbay
ginagawa
lang
niya.
dun
Oo.
sa malapit sa Ibayo.
Oo, na puro
Ferris
anime.
wheel.
Puro anime. Di man lang tayo niyaya. Kumbaga, kahit ano lang, kahit naman na Jollibee lang, boy, masaya na kami. Wala ba tayo dyan?
Bilan mo naman ng Dakimakura.
Oo, wala ba tayo dyan? Kahit,
Yeah.
na-meet nila si Stranger Things. Si Eleven. At nako, mukhang may nagkakaroon tayo ng onting connectivity issue onte, mga papi chulo. So, easy papi di. Sa mga hindi nakakaalam ng ating point system, kapag nanalo dito ang ADDU, magkakaroon sila ng 3 points, bringing them up to the bracket. Pwede ba natin makita yung bracket, Burrito?
Actually, yeah, man.
Explain
If
lang
they
natin yung
actually
bracket.
tie this game, it won't be a best of 3. It's just 2 games. If they tie, if they go 1-1, it'll be 1 point and 1 point for each team. So
Yeah.
you really want to go for that win streak. You want to go 2-0 in each of your matchups for the group stages, so you get just a huge boost. 3 points is so much. I mean, 3 is greater than 1. That's like basic math.
Basic math. Hindi, yung sinasabi natin, round robin eh.
Yeah.
So, every win counts
Yeah,
talaga.
every win counts. And every
Every
2-0 is just huge for you. So you really have to win these matches to get through the group stages.
Yappy ballers, mga papi chulo. Easy Bobby D lang tayo at ayan, nakikita na natin ang ating league standings dito mga kaibigan. Para sa ating Group A, we have University of the East with 3 points sa kanilang bracket. At dito naman sa kabilang side, sa Group B, University of La Salette, 3 points din. Kanina, mga Papi Chulo. And dito sa kabila, 1 point for Ateneo de Davao University's Group C. And Group D, magkasama yung former champion and yung runner-up natin for last term, University of Iloilo and Our Lady of Fatima University with 3 points. And mukhang nawawala na ang Colegio de San Lorenzo with 0 points.
Yeah,
and
Phantom
Collegiate.
Griffins really needs to step up their game. You saw their match earlier, the first match for today, and they
Correct.
were kind of sloppy going up against Salvaxi Nari. They always have this really good composition. They have it planned out. Okay, if we don't win in the early game, we have lots of things we can do in the early game. But if we don't win in the early game,
The
we
late
can always just spike up in the mid game. And if we haven't won yet in objectives or in gold, we can just outscale them completely. But they really need to do this a controlled matchup, because against Salvaxi Nari, they really faltered because they couldn't keep up with the pace. They couldn't slow down Salvaxi Nari, so you have to be adaptable in facing up every team. You can't just use the same kind of control composition every game. That might be your play style as a team, but it's really different playing out in the competitive scene.
Hindi, sa tingin ko rin kasi yung nakikita ko rin sa University de San Lorenzo, tama? Eh, kumbaga sa medyo pag nagmi-mid game, eh hindi nila medyo nakikita yung objectives na kailangan nilang kunin. So I think they need to work on that para makahabol dito sa UI and sa Olfo. Well, kasi experience-wise, UI and Olfo, alam na natin yan. Eh, ang shoutout sa lahat ng mga taga-Iloilo. Iloilol nga ang tawag nila dyan sa ano na yan. Pero yun na mga Papi Chulo sinasabi natin. We have Davao City and UST Metro Manila from the north and from the south. Uy, tama. From the north. And
Direction para programa.
programa, oo nga pala. From the north and from the south na magka-clash ngayon sa ating meeting. Kita mo naman yung mga aking psycho-psycho. So, Easy Papi D, naglo-loading na yung ating screen, mga kaibigan, para sa mga naiinip dyan. Chill lang kayo dyan kasi kasama sa pagiging pro player ang connectivity issue. Kumbaga, paring Atlas, pro player ka. Kunyari, manager mo ako. Diba? Uy, manager mo ako! Diba? Ganyan. Tapos maglalaro ka ng LCL, kunyari. Siyempre, ang gagawin ko dyan, check ko yung connectivity ng computer shop ko. Kasi manager kita eh. Ay, manager mo ako eh. Para hindi ka madisi. Kasama yun sa journey ng isang pro player. Tingnan mo si paring Yux. Diba? Nakadating ng Worlds sa commercial. Nakadating siya ng Worlds sa commercial. Shout out to Bacos Energy Drink. Men, A4 Tech. A4 Tech Worlds.
Oh, man.
You don't need any fancy keyboards. Man, you don't need any fancy mouse. I just need my Bacos Energy Drink. All the world.
A4 Tech plus CDR King Gaming.
Yeah! And plus, CDR King headphones. Nako, shout out to Uy, nabili ka rin sa CDR King. Grabe ka naman sa CDR King, boy.
Bakit? Lahat ng gear ko galing dun.
Ayun, para si Maring Alpha.
I'm a real gamer, man.
Yan.
Mountain Dew and then Chippy.
Chippy. Labas-labas din.
Coke Sakto.
Alam mo
A4
kasi,
Tech.
minsan labas-labas din ng bahay. Para sa mga di
Gremlin.
bahay. Labas-labas din ng bahay. Para naman may alam kayo sa mundo. Ano? Oo nga! Wow, silog! Magsiswap pa ba to?
They don't have, they can't swap anymore. This
So,
will be the
Jin
mid
mid.
gen.
Nagkakaiba sila kanina.
Yeah, no, they swapped earlier.
Hindi, pero nag-Gin ADR sila kanina eh.
Oh.
Nung nag-loading screen. Hindi, pero nag-remake. Sino ang na-DC kanina? UST yung na-DC. So, wala tayong masasabi. So, pero ito, Jin mid para sa ADDU, mga Papi Chulo.
Either way, it's gonna be...
So na-DC na. Ito explain ko lang. Kunyari walang nabulong. Pero ito, explain ko lang. ang nangyari kanina, hindi pa tapos yung timer nung na-DC. So, ibig sabihin, pwede pa nga sila mag-swap. Grabe itong ADDU University, no? Very flexible yung mga champion nila. Kumbaga, uy tol, ako na lang kaya mid. Uy tol, ikaw na lang kaya yung ADC. Ganun no?
Yeah, the champions, Gosu and Kiranda, really, I think they have pretty similar champ pools, I believe. But here, either way, the matchup is going to be the same for the bot lane. The Soraka is going to be what's dictating the pace of the game here. At least in the bot lane, with the heals, no matter what AD carry it is, they'll be able to sustain through and get their CS. So it's gonna be all about the Soraka. It doesn't matter if it's the Jhin or the Ezreal there, since they're both carry laners. They're both gonna get a lot of CS. So it really matters only later in the game when the roaming and the junglers start putting up a lot of pressure on every lane.
We all know naman Ezreal against the Sivir, ay ang gagawin lang ng Sivir, sasaliin niya yung mga Mystic Shot with her Spell Shield. So easy Babidi, at meron pa tayong Black Shield. So sa bot lane, mukhang magkakaroon tayo ng 10 years na ganap.
Bot lane became top lane.
But bot lane became top lane.
It's really hard for Ezreal to put up consistent damage against Sivir, even though matagal yung cooldown ng Spell Shield. With the Morgana, and it's really hard for them to get locked down.
And hindi rin aggressive tactics tong UST because of the Soraka heal, of the Soraka sustain. At alam natin yan, pag nakakatapat tayo ng Soraka, hindi natin alam sino ba unahin natin, yung Soraka ba or yung Ezreal ba? Diba?
Usually you go for the medic first, pero mahirap din eh.
Mahirap din.
She has her own sustain in the form of Starfall.
Yeah.
So if you're not able to consistently damage her while dodging her Starfall, you're gonna have a hard time taking her down.
She has her own sustain, and what if Ezreal can damage you ng matindi? Yun na nga mahirap dyan. So aabangan natin ang mga, actually ang inaabangan ko yung dalawang jungle kung paano mag-work out. And the Jhin against a Karma.
It's pretty favorable to Karma, I believe. Jhin has a lot of he has a lot of openings in his defenses that Karma can just abuse with her short cooldowns. So if he expends his fourth bullet, he's going to expend that one way or another because he needs to CS. He needs to get that gold. So once he gets that fourth shot out and uses it on a minion instead of Karma, she can just go in there and then trade favorably.
Ang gagawin lang ni Karma, Inspire, W, and Inner Flame sa mukha ni Jhin. Madadamage ka agad ng Jhin, and Jhin, very immobile champion. Pero mga kaibigan, ay na nga, we are live. Bagong floor wax na Summoner Stream. Nag-zoom in sa Infernal Drake. We will see Jake Long in a while, mga papi chulo. This is game 2 of our match 2 sa LCL Collegiate League Summer Term. Shoutout sa lahat ng mga nasa YouTube at hindi namin nababasa kunyari ang chat ngayon. Pero nasa gilid pala. Kung gusto nyong magpa-shoutout na kayo. Babasahin yan mamaya ni Mr. Atlas. Let's have the rundown. Pero bago yan, mukhang nagkakabulan sa mid lane. Oh, very aggressive strike from Mr. King here to Mr. Carley. And what? Okay, wait.
Okay, they're just a little love tap here and there. Have to recall, regain mana and HP. But here on the red team is the UST Tiger. For the top lane is the King, the Lion. On that Irelia on the top lane. For the jungle is Sirius. On that Elise. For the mid lane is Reaper. Reaping in the mid lane with that Karma. For the bot lane duo will be Alcid and Uomi on that really spell countering Sivir and Morgana matchup duo.
Yappy ballers, and for the red side, we have ADDU University from Davao City, reigning in something pounds. We have Happy as the Maokai top lane, George as the Gragas jungle mid lane, Kitanda as the Jhin, Gosu as the ADC Ezreal, and Carly, call me maybe, Carly, as the Raka support. Easy Babidi hatid sa atin ng Smart Communication. Shoutout sa lahat na nanonood sa Facebook and sa YouTube chat and esports.garena.ph/stream kung nandyan man ngayon. Shoutout sa inyo.
Share nyo sa mga kaibigan at pamilya nyo ang link esports.garena.ph/stream. And looks like the lanes so far are just going to go for standard starts, though strange as Sirius is actually going to try and focus to the top lane.
Yappy.
He wants really to pressure Happy here. happy.
Oo nga.
Because he wants King to snowball. Because
Ang Irelia.
yeah, Irelia, because if Irelia gets behind, it can be hard, even with the equilibrium strike, to
Correct.
trade favorably and scale into the late game. So you really want that to get ahead.
And-
Alcid and Uomi, what they're gonna do is just push in the lane, constantly making it hard for Gosu to CS. So it leaves a lot of room for Sirius to go for the top lane.
And yung sustain din talaga ng isang Maokai, 'di ba? The vengeful milestone technique, yung mga mini Maokais, masakit talaga. So, ang Irelia talaga kapag nag-snowball, bebebladen ka sa mukha hanggang matapos ang paglalarong ito. Pero nagpo-focus ang ating cameraman sa bot lane, paring Atlas, makikita natin na evenly lang ang trade-off. Actually, lamang ng 5 CS. Si Mr. Alcid dito, the aggressive plays coming in from the ricochets.
Yeah, Alcid is really trying to push them in back into the tower. Because, Ezreal doesn't have a lot of wave clear even if he reaches level 6.
Correct.
Oh, there's top lane fight.
Nako, pero ito na nga yung sinasabi nating top lane, mga kaibigan. Grabe yung deadly flourish, ang layo ng inaabot, mga Papi Chulo. Flash out para dito kay Mr. Gragas. Boy George goes down. Mr. Happy, mga kaibigan, ng hindi siya nakamiyaw kay dito na normal din na King flash out mula sa kanya. Nandito na si Mr. Kitanda para humabol, pero nandito na si Reaper, nastanini si Mr. Kitanda dito at ayan na nga. Inner flame flash out, kaboy, patay, luka kay Reaper, and now University of Santo Tomas with the 2-0 lead. Mga Papi Chulo, 4 minutes into the game.
Wow, very, very aggressive there, and there was a short bit of hesitation coming from Sirius and King there to try and kill George, but in the end they just go in there and go straight for it, knowing that Kitanda actually went around instead of directly to his teammate. So he was cut off. That was essentially a 2v1 that lately became a 2v2. So he had that early advantage.
Yun na nga, paring Atlas, at dahil din sa clash na yun, na burn ni Mr. Kitanda ang kanyang flash and ang kanyang cleanse.
Oh, that's
so
painful.
anytime, showtime, pwedeng pumunta si Mr. Sirius dyan sa mid lane para mag-gank kay Mr. Kitanda, knowing that ang isang Jhin, kapag na-stun, kapag nahuli ka agad, kayang mapatay. Payat yan malambot yan. Ayan ang sinasabi natin, yung aggression ng isang Karma sa isang Jhin.
Tsaka mahirap mag-trade para kay Kitanda laban sa Karma. If he goes for the 4th shot, pag hinintay niya mag-4th shot, he'll just be shielded with Inspire, or if he's feeling really aggressive, the Defiance.
Yeah, tamang-tama. And hindi pa agad magsaspike yung damage ng isang Jhin sa
Definitely
early.
not.
Unlike the Karma na sa umpisa pa lang, masyadong makati yung Inner Flame combo with the W.
Mukhang mas favorable para sa Tele Tigers ngayon na nag-switch ang Jhin at Ezreal ng Ateneo de Davao. Rite of Passage went instead for the mid lane Jhin. Against the really aggressive, really pushing in.
Correcto, pero Mystic Shots Gaming is real para kay Mr. Gozo, and the heal for Mr. Carly and Sirius nandito nagpatayo ng Spidey and nagkasaikuhan sa bot lane, mga Pop Chules.
I mean, Sirius did not get any kills or summer spells there, but at least the pressure is there. Gosu knows that Sirius is there, so he can't go all in against Alcid and Womi just yet. But yeah, I think it would have been more favorable if Kitanda went with the Ezreal and Gosu went instead
sa mid,
for the Jhin. Because against this, Ezreal doesn't have any wave clear, and while Jhin, of course, is also very bad at CSing under turret. At least he has the dancing grenades to go for the straight combos with the CS.
Pero
right now, Gosu is just having a lot of trouble.
Nahihirapan siya sa mga ricochet at igniters, baneters, mga kaibigan. Pero polado dito, pero sa mid lane, mga kaibigan, sa Reaper na deadly flourish, pero nice inspire to get away from Mr. Boy George and Kitanda. So buhay na buhay si Mr. Reaper dito, and kung titingnan natin ng CS, lamang ang Karma dito laban sa Jhin sa mid lane.
Looks like the CS has normalized as well for the bot lane. 52 to 51, nakahabol na si Gosu because of the pressure, because of the damage that they received. So now they have to be a bit more careful. They can't play as aggressive as they can while their HP bars are like this. But yeah, it's all about Sirius and George here. That's always been the focus of every single LCL game in the past. Day 1 and day 2, and even before the long 2-week break. It's always been about how the jungler applies pressure, where they gank, how often, and especially the timing, because timing is the most important thing
yeah.
for junglers at sa pag-ibig.
Kumbaga, yung timing kapag nagkakaroon ng bakbakan either sa top lane, sa mid, or sa bottom lane. Yun na nga, junglers and supports kasi yung nagko-control ng tempo ng laban. Kung kailan sila maggagank, kung anong gagawin nila after mag-gank. Kasi pag jungle ka, kunyari, nakapag-gank ka, nakapatay ka, saan ka pupunta?
Baka mangyayari
Magpa-farm
ito sa
ka ba
mid lane
or
ngayon.
mag-o-objectives ka ba? Kaya na nga sinasabi natin, mukhang magkakaroon ng bakbakan sa mid lane. Deadly Flourish, walang stanini mga kaibigan. Pero here comes the curtain call, hindi tumama yung body slam. So curtain call to farm para dito kay Mr. Kitanda.
Nice body block there from Sirius, giving away his position, but since the curtain call also deals bonus damage based on how much missing health you have, it is the curtain call. You're supposed to use it as a finisher. So that body block just makes it deal so little damage, allowing Reaper to stay in lane for a while longer.
Correct.
And Sirius, receiving almost no damage, can continue to farm up.
Correct. Correct. Tama ka dyan, paring Atlas. Pero tingnan mo ulit ang CS natin. Uy, muntikan pa. Grabe yung harassment na tinatanggap ni Mr. Goso dito. Pero ang ginagawa lang ni Mr. Carley, inihil lang siya. So, tamang sustain lang ang laban sa baba. Medyo tabla, pero eto, dito magkakatalo ng tempo. Infernal Drake. Libreng-libre para sa side ng ADDU. Mukhang walang contest na magaganap. So, the first dragon, Infernal Drake, Jake Long ay nakuha ng ADDU.
The American Dragon taken by Ateneo de Davao University. Rite of passage. That was very well played there. They got it for free. I think that actually made up for the 2 kills that they lost earlier to Tigers.
Correct.
That's a 2K gold lead. It's reasonably big at this stage of the game. But you get those stats back with the 8% you get from the Infernal Drake. It's an investment. It scales a lot better than the 2K gold. So now they have a little bit of fighting power against Tigers.
Yep, and so the next objective of the game, who will get the first turret na merong extra
So much
400
bonus gold. Delicious.
So hihintay lang tayo dito mga Papi Chulo. Let's look into the CS. Karma leading pa rin sa mid Jin. Pero I think Jin has now enough damage because of that Infernal Drake. At dito naman sa bot lane, sustainability is in. Look at Carley. Tingnan mo ang ginagawa niya. Kahit tinatamaan si Ezreal ng mga skills dito, yung si Carley, hindi na nga siya yung type na napapanood ko na sobrang agresibo dahil sila na ang ina-agresibo. Pero grabeng suporta ang pinapakita niya dito mga kaibigan.
Yeah, and he's not being touched as well. The healing coming from Soraka costs health. But Carley has been hitting the Starfalls pretty decently in this lane. And that's why both he and Gosu are topped off in terms of HP. Alcid and Naomi don't have the same freedom when it comes to trading. Even though they have a lot more damage initially, they don't have the same kind of sustain. And Womi is only really good if there's a lot of CC coming at them. But in the sustained matchup against this, we don't have any super dangerous stuns or snares.
Correct.
The Black Shield loses a lot of its utility unless George ganks, which he hasn't.
Oo nga, pero nako, nastanini na dito si Mr. George. Boy, George mga kaibigan, nag-ulti. Si Mr. King dito, hindi tumama ang deadly burst. Pero grabe, the burst for Mr. King was real pala kay Boy George. In-underestimate ni Boy George yung damage, pero hindi pa tapos ang laban. The cleanse is real for Mr. Kitanda dito mga kaibigan, pero very mobile Jin. Mga Papi Chulo, Spider Swing. Pa-flash ka pa, boy. Normal, Venomous Strike. Normal, part 2. Tinayuan ng gagamba. Bantay si Mr. Carley, and now si Mr. Gosu flash out. Pero grabe, advance, tormented soil for Mr. Umi, and 6-0 in favor of UST. Wow, ang solid nun.
That was action-packed, and that's good on Alcid, knowing that the junglers and the rest of Team Rite of Passage is on the top side of the map. They are free to aggress onto Gosu and Carley. They can just go in there, get the damage out, and wipe out Carley, and then Gosu, without the healer, without the medic there, will just fall down quickly to the damage that they can bring out.
Correct na correct. Tamang-tama ka dyan, Mr. Atlas. And now, 11 minutes, actually 12 minutes into the game, 3K, almost 4K gold lead para dito sa UST. Dito nakakatakot ang UST kapag nakukuha nila yung mga early aggression nila dito. Alam din nila ang gagawin nila sa objectives. The next objective nga mga kaibigan will be either the Rift Herald or the first turret of the game.
And I think they really need to put the I think Sirius really needs to put focus on that Rift Herald, because look at King right now. He deals so much damage against Happy.
Yun na nga,
And
pumapalag.
the trades are so favorable towards him. If ever King gets that Rift Herald buff, this lane is over. This lane is dead for Rite of Passage. They'll get the fast push coming from Sirius.
Oo nga,
Going
pero teka
aggressive.
lang, nice dodge. Ako kung dito mga kaibigan, tinan natin kung enough ang heal ni Carly dito, pero nag-switch target si Mr. Sirius dito. Normal pa kay Carly, and normal si Ezreal dito. Actually, Ezreal ay biglang na-buff. Paring,
Yeah, that's why
Atlas.
he's high tier AD carry right now.
Kasi, kumbaga, dinagdagan na siya ng normal eh. Hindi na siya yung type ng Ezreal na asa na lang talaga mga skill shot. Pero teka lang, Virtual Bison has been popped na dito. Dalawang
Oh, no.
ulti, mga kaibigan, ang nasayang para sa atin Neo di Davao University. Pero Provinciano technique, 1-2, wala. Shit,
Yeah,
ay.
but kapos, nag-misfire ang barrel, nag-jam. Curtain call. That is such a huge cooldown for
And
Rite of Passage.
nag-explosive gas, pinalayo sa Vengeful Milestorm. Hindi pa sumasabog, bes.
Yeah, that was pretty sloppy coming from George there. And this Sirius has been showing a lot in the bot lane with lots of pressure. On the other hand, George hasn't been really showing up in terms of
Uy, pero grabe,
aggressive.
on the hunt has been popped, mga kuya mo. Eto na naultihan, mga kaibigan ng Chakillers. Pero nandito Spider-Man Sirius, inuna nila si Mr. Carly. Kasi siya ang nag-heal, alam na natin yung Spider Swing. Pero patay pa rin si Siever dito sa kamay ni Ezreal, sa kamay ng Arcane Shift. Nag-TV na dito si Mr. Happy, pero wala pa rin mangyayari. 7-1. Lamang na lamang pa rin ng University of Santo Tomas.
That's the 6K gold lead. That gold lead is now only 3K there with the shutdown. That is huge. And will they dive Uomi? It's pretty dangerous considering that the black shield is there.
Wala. Medyo nagkasaykuan lang. Pero ito, tinasabi natin, the dark bindings are real, no? Para kay Umi. Hindi pa siya nagmi-miss dito. Pero ang problema nga si Mr. Carly. Pero ang ganda ng gank ni Mr. Sirius dito. Pero nandito na si Boy George. Boy George, Elvis Travolta, Elvis Boy George. Naku, nahuli si Mr. Gozo dito. Napakaganda spell chip. Pero ang gandang arcane chip mula sa kanya. Spider swing in. Isang normal kinagat ng gagamba. At hindi ka magiging Spider-Man. Mga kuya mo, Mr. Happy. Naka-ulti siya dito, mga kaibigan. Sumabog na dark binding para kay Mr. Umi. Pero nandito si Carly Suraka. Hindi to mamabalis na. Pero bawi! Pero hindi. Spell shield is real. Nako, bawi na sa ating explosive cast. Pero yung spell shield pa rin ang nagdala. Jonko Lord.
So that ends up being another 1-for-1 here in the bot lane. But still, Tigers pretty ahead here so far, and Alcid still going strong. It seems like Tigers will get the first turret of the game, which is the top lane turret. So much bonus. Plus 650. Make it rain, King.
Matindi, mga papichulo. King, knowing that halos lahat ng kalaban nila nasa bot lane, magpupush na lang ako. Trabaho na lang ako dito. Walang personal.
And the Infernal Drake is up there. Uomi is very, very low, and actually Rite of Passage should know that because of the little blue ward that they put there, so they might be able to go make a play here while Uomi has to recall.
Pero alam mo, paring Atlas ang nagaganap dito, lumalamang na si Mr. Sirius sa jungling laban kay Mr. George. Mr. George 0-2-1 and Mr. Sirius 2-1 in top of 3 assists. So extra gold coming from him.
Yun talaga, yeah, he is ahead, right? He's 2-1-3, pero hindi lang yun para sa kanya. Because of the pressure that he's been giving off for his team, napakahirap para sa laners din ang Rite of Passage. Since George, he's hit or miss so far.
Correct, pero ito na, here comes the TP for Mr. King, mga papi chulo. May mahuli ba siya dito? Nakakun si Mr. George. Pulado si Gozo dito. It will be enough, mga kaibigan. Equilibrium Strikers. Goodbye, Silog. Double killers para sa UST. Nako, mga papi chulo, wala pa si Mr. Happy dito. And medyo lumalayo na yung ating gold lead.
It's gonna be 6K plus the stat lead coming from the Infernal Drake will be equalized since now Tigers will have their own explosive dragon buff. We'll see how that all plays off, but for now, Tigers is now really, really stepping up from last game. Last game,
Pero yun, grabe dami si King, mga kaibigan. Inner play, mga papi chulo. Goodbye, Silog. King is now on a killing spree.
I was gonna say something, but that gank just speaks for itself.
Yep.
They're now on the same page. They're not being caught off guard by what Rite of Passage is doing. So now they just cleanly dive, and now they're 7K gold ahead and 11-2.
At ayan, mukhang nagugo. Uy, grabe naman! Web throw! Kung alam nyo man yun, kung naglalaro man kayo nun, web throw technique was real
Web
para dito
sling,
kay
man.
kay Sirius.
Is just living on the edge here, the spectacular Spider Queen.
I'm on the edge of glory, sabi niya dito. Ayan na nga. Ay, pero grabe yung mga spell shield. Mga Papi Chulo, pumasok din si Mr. Happy Page. Full milestone, pero dodge balls. Spider swing para kay Mr. Sirius. At ayan na, si Mr. Gosu sa kabilang side. Patay ni King, mga kaibigan ng Maokai. Double kill, make that a triple kill nga ba. Pero nasanini siya dito, Torret. Ang nagdala ng ulam. Spell shield is real. Mga Papi Chulo, mahabol na. Pero grabe naman, Mr. Reaper. Bawing-bawi. Rihanna, shut down. Ezreal, mga Papi Chulo, walang stand dito ang Ateneo de Davao University. Nagmamaasim pa si Mr. Reaper, mga kaibigan. Magpapalag-palag pa mga kuha ninyo. Nagkakasaikuan, inner flame. Grabe yung damage, kalahati kagad. Pero yun na nga si Carly with the heals will secure the safety of Mr. Kitanda. Magbabak na si Rihanna. Grabe yung nangyaring matchup na yun.
Yeah, that ended up being a 3-for-3, and I thought Tigers were already exactly on the same page, but that dive went pretty poorly for them, ending up in an equal trade, which is better for Rite of Passage, because if you're behind, every equal trade means that you have a chance to get back from this 9k gold lead. But Tigers, they still have a bit more wiggle room. They can make a little bit more mistakes, but it's not what you want to do.
De, pero kung ikaw naman ganun kataas yung lead mo, why not asimin mo, 'di ba? Hindi ko sinasabing mali yung ginawa nila kasi pulado si Ezreal eh. Kumbaga one hit na lang talaga ni ni Mr. King. Ang ganda lang talaga nung deadly flourish ni Mr. Kitanda to save his teammate. At dahil dyan, may damage ng turret. Pero bago ako magsalita dito, UST now nakakuha ng Rift Herald Anderson
This
buff.
is painful for Rite of Passage. The Rift Herald buff going to King is gonna make Happy dead in the top lane if he tries to mash a split push. Plus the damage for the turrets coming from King will be way too much. He's gonna...
Yabi Bolos, pero ako nag-aabang dito si Boy George, Elvis, Travolta, Ball George, Elvis, pinalayo na naman sa Faithful Milestone, mga kaibigan, Transcendent Blades, and yung buffs galing sa page ang magliligtas para dito kay Mr. King. Pero hindi pa pala tapos, nakuningan na ako. Teka lang, ayan, tapos na pala.
Still a love tap there from Reaper, but yeah, so every single Blade Surge has been calculated from King. These regal cues coming from the Irelia just weaving in and out of the battle. You saw that earlier. He died though to the Ezreal in the bot lane fight, but that was pretty beautiful there. Blade Surge or minion Blade Surge to the
sa kalaban, sa minions.
to Gosu.
Akala ko Yasuo lang eh.
Yeah, but there you saw him. I thought he was dead for sure, but then, of course, the Blade Surge to a minion, Blade Surge to a minion again, then just walk away to safety.
Para kasing nakakatulong din yung explosive cast para makaligtas siya.
Yeah, sometimes George's explosive casts have been mostly hit or miss this game.
Correct,
That
pero
is
grabe yung
painful
damage
inner
ng isang
flame.
Karma.
Soul Flare.
Wow.
even.
Sobrang the burst is real na karansay ng UST. And wala pang masyadong damage ang isang GD ng mga kaibigan na kukuha si Mr. Boy George. Body slam out para sa kanya. Wala ng curtain call. Alam na ng UST na wala silang damage. And next dragon natin na Infernal Drake, mga kaibigan. And UST trying to push the second mid-tier tower. Turret ng Ateneo de Davao University.
That's gonna be in a minute and a half. The Infernal Drake. That's gonna be. That's what you said. Explosive for Tigers and Rite of Passage. They really want to get that second Infernal Drake so they can keep up with the damage. And so far, King, Sirius, Reaper, no, actually everyone on Tigers has been doing a lot of damage. Even Uwomi.
Oo, kahit si Umi, kahit sabihin mong support items yan, bes. Yung mga Dark Binding ay on point at yung mga Black Shield on point na on point. Yun na nga, take note, yung Black Shield ng isang Morgana ay dinagdagan ng range. So, kahit napakalayo pa ng isang Elise, Sirius, aabot yung Black Shield.
Kaya niyang like clutch na
Black
maligtas if ever na out of position si Sirius. So yeah, they really have a lot of room to go aggressive here, like as you were saying.
And pansinin mo, paring Atlas, lahat ng champions dito, actually 4 sa champions dito ng Tigers ay merong root and stun. You have Irelia, Elise, Karma, and Morgana na pwedeng sunod-sunod yung stun, hindi ka na makakagalaw. Never move technique.
At dahil napakabilis naman ni Alcid kasama ni Reaper, pwede nilang gamitin yung stairs na yun kahit ignore na lang nilang si George at si Happy. Diretso na lang sila kay Goso at Kitanda.
Correct.
Pero even then, even with the front line, Happy and George are pretty squishy. I mean, they have tank items, yes, but the damage coming from the rest of Team Tigers is just way too much. Plus, you have true damage and percent health damage coming from Sirius and King.
At ayun na nga, 10 seconds left into the shot clock, mga kaibigan, para
So
sa
much
Infernal
vision as well.
Break. Kakanta na ba tayo ng to the J, to the A, to the K, to the E? I'm the Mad Daddy Dragon na nagsamo na ako. At ayan, medyo mabilis at hindi to kita. Ang galing naman ng cameraman. Magaling yung cameraman natin. Hindi kita ng Ateneo di Davao. Props, cameraman. Sino man sa inyo yan? Cedric
But
Manila.
yeah, and they had a very good ring of vision there. Tigers just making sure that they're not in danger starting that objective, and now their eyes are on Baron. They will want to bait that out.
Yeah,
Or
ballers.
that's where the vision is going to be. But if Rite of Passage can't get that vision around the pit, it's going to be very hard for them if ever Tigers makes a move on that objective.
Yape Ballers, anong hinihintay na lang ng Tigers dito, mga kaibigan, i-all in sila, maging agresibo ang mga Tigre sa turrets nila and bumalag sila. At yun na nga, nakita mo naman, halos walang damage. Makikita mo, the item lang ng isang Jin dito sa game na to ni Mr. Kitanda ay Yomus Ghost Blade lang.
Tsaka kinakailangan niyang gamitin defensively para ma-repel sila from sieging. And if
Correct.
you use that curtain call as an opener, which is not how it works in theater. If you use the curtain call as an opener, it deals no damage.
Oo nga, sa theater kasi, yung curtain call, basta mga hindi nakakala, yun na yung time para mag-bow yung mga artista na pinanood ninyo. Yun ang tawag dyan. Yun ang tawag sa, pag nagbabaw na sila, curtain call ang tawag yan.
Tapos
Yan,
na
tips,
ang show.
Tips. Oo, tips. Dash tips.
Yeah, Jin, it's not a very good way to open it up. So you
Correct.
have to use Happy and George to start off the battle, and then try and pick him up with your sniper rifle.
Yun na nga, at nagpipicture-picture sila dito pero hindi nila tayo sinasama sa picture-picture. Bakit nga ba hindi tayo sinasama ni Iconic sa picture-picture na ginagawa niya? No?
But yeah, this is gonna be the Baron, which will be the focus of the game. The Mountain Drake is gonna be the next dragon, but it's gonna be pretty far. It's got at least 2 minutes away.
Ang layo
So
pa,
now
base,
their
oh.
Baron, they're trying to bait this out. They
Baron
have the
guys,
pink ward vision to make sure that this is not warded. So if ever Rite of Passage face checks this, they're gonna get obliterated.
Oo, pero mukhang nagkakasikuhan ng dalawang teams dito. Pwede ba natin makita yung site ng blue team? Ayan, mga kaibigan. Actually, red team yan, yung blue team. Ayan, medyo wala silang wards doon. Pero grabe ang bibilis! Mga kaibigan, Taylor Swift technique! Flash out! Pero hindi sapat ang heal ni Mr. Carly dito. Mukhang masastun pa si Mr. Boy George. Pero ang gandang explosive gas para sa kanya para mabuhay siya. May marurut pa, walang marurut. At patay si Coco Martin.
Pero panoorin nyo si King.
Si
King
Coco
right
Martin.
here has been split pushing the entire time. So even though they only got 1 kill onto Kitanda, that means all the focus on King was lost, and they tried to go for the mid lane instead. I think they should have just went for King.
And
they were going for 2 members, right? So they just had to keep going there and trade the 1-for-1.
Pero nakakaano rin the pressure is real na rin para kay Kitanda. Kita mo naman, ginagawa niya na lahat para makapag-farm siya sa mid lane and nahuli siya ng Taylor Swift gang. Nakita mo ang bilis, bilis. Naka-inspire, actually, naka-on the hunt.
On the hunt, Defiance, and all of these speed
Mabilis.
boosts coming there. It's just way too much for Rite of Passage.
O ayan na nga, curtain
That's
call,
the
pero
first
hindi
throw.
na kailangan mga Papi Chulo. Hindi na na-slow si Umi dito. And walang curtain call mga Papi Chulo si Mr. Kitanda, pero sa bot lane, kita mo, who run the world, girls? Who run the world? Pag nag-inspire, who run the world?
Dank
si
memes.
Si Beyonce.
Dank memes brought to you by Manji ng taong pantalon ng
Taong
Garena
pantalon.
PH.
Pero mo si Beyonce pala, hindi pala siya si Rihanna. Kasi kapag nag-i-inspire siya, kumakanta yan.
Sa TV. Yun pala yung lyrics mo
Yun yung
tinanslate
pag
mo.
translate mo, who run the world, girls.
But yeah, that was quite questionable positioning coming from Al Cid. But I think it was a bait. They baited Al Cid so they could get the bottom turret.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge.
Tamang bait, Psycho. Ewan ko, kahit medyo tumatagal ang laban na to, hindi nagsiscale, hindi nakakapitas ang ADDU, pero they are trying their best. Pero hindi sila si Ash, mga kaibigan. Ayan o, nag-pop ng ulti, binibait yung ulti. Paring Atlas. Nako.
Mabilis lang naman yung cooldown ng Transcendent Blades, but now it pulls pressure.
Pressure
They need
cooker.
George and Happy while they're pushing down the mid lane, so this is really hard
Uy,
for Rite of
na-root!
Passage. And Kitanda!
Unli root, mga Papi Chulo! Parang umorder ka sa mga inasal ng Unli Rice. Kita mo naman pagka root part 1, root part 2 agad. At ayan, who run the world? Girls, ayun!
Oh
Grabe.
my god, the stacking of the CC was perfect there. Kitanda had no chance to react, and even if he had cleansed the first one, there was the second one to contend with, and this is probably gonna be a free Baron. They don't have vision.
Unexpected. Free Baron na to para sa UST. UST dominating this game, mga Papi Chulo. The Unli Root who run the world. Shoutout sa lahat ng mga kababaihan. Jungle Lord, munti ka pa ma-steal. Pero yun na.
Lumalaban si King.
Papalag pa si Kid, pero grabe. Root mo, bes. Wala.
Yeah, just chill a little. They gained a lot of gold from that fight, from those turrets, plus that Baron. So now they just chill, recall, buy their items, and now they have a lot of advantages over Rite of Passage. 14k gold, 1 Infernal Drake ahead, plus the Baron buff.
Tsaka lahat na ng objectives ay sa kanila na. Wala pang Elder Drake dito, mga best bells. Sobrang liit na ng mapa ng ADDU dito, na trap card na sila sa kanilang mapa. Kinukuha na ng UST lahat ng pwede nilang kunin. Ayaw sila bigyan.
Yeah, this is almost hopeless for Rite of Passage, but there are a few things they can do if they want to actually have a chance to get back at this game. They have a sliver of a fraction of a chance to get here, to get through this game if they wait for Tigers to make a mistake.
Ang mahirap din kasi dito yung roots ni Umi. So maswak to Donuts at ayan, na-slain pa nila ang Mountain Drake.
Free Drake.
Yappy Ballers, walang magawa para makontest dito ang Ateneo de Davao University, pero sabi nga ni Duterte, palag-palag tayo mga besicles. Hindi niya sinabi yun, pero pwedeng sinabi niya rin yun minsan. Malay mo.
Oh man, but yeah, this is so hard for Rite of Passage because they don't have a reliable source of wave clear. Dancing grenades only really pop off if their minions have died before that, but these super minions, these minions with a Baron buff on them are resistant to these AoE attacks, and you can see they're all... King's just gonna ignore Happy. Look at him take down this tower.
Grabe naman, King. Wala namang ganyanan, King. Ngayon sinasabi ko dyan, gaganyan-ganyan ka sa mukha namin, best. Explosive gas, mga Papi Chulo. Pero sabi ni King, who run the world, girls. Oy, grabe. Buhay na buhay. The running girls, mga kaibigan. University of Santo Tomas is doing it.
That gave them so much time to take down that bottom inhibitor. So now,
Caramel technique! Provinciano, pero grabe yung damage yung inner plane, best. Kita mo kalahati. Ayan na! Si Irelia, mga Papi Chulo! Oriana Grande! Pero hindi pala. Mr. King pala yung mga Papi Chulo. Irelia Grande naman ang tawag dyan. At Ricochet! Nating away. Ubos pa ni Pantubos. Inuubos na ng UST ang base. Dito ay polado lahat ng mga kababaihan, nagtatakbuhan, at Ateneo de Davao University trying to get backers. Pero wala pa rin, mga Papi Chuls.
This is a 17k gold lead, plus Baron, plus the 3 Drakes that they have.
2 Infernals, isang Mountain. Ano pa ba nga hanapin mo?
Yeah, these are two types of huge dragons. Fire type tsaka rock type na dragon dyan.
Si isang Onyx, saka isang Charizard X.
Mega Charizard
Mega
Y.
Charizard X.
X is black.
Dragon.
Oh wait, that sounds racist. No, Mega Charizard X is
Dragon
black,
Fire.
dark colored.
Dragon Fire.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's beside the point. Rite of Passage really needs to bust their behinds here if they want to get back in this game. But at this point, they can just get overrun and outstatted by Tigers.
Yeah.
I don't think...
Tsaka kita mo yung flank kanina ni Mr. King, walang nagawa
Yeah.
ang ADDU doon kanina.
That might be the mistake they're looking for.
Mr. Sirius with the spell, immune technique, and dalawa yung naroon dito, mga Papi Chulo. Explosive cast, pero walang damage ang kuya ninyo. At yun na nga, mula sa gilid mukhang mamamatay si Justin Bieber. Jungle Lord Mamamatay pa siya sa soil, pero hindi, mga Papi Chulo, yun na nga. Oriana, ay wala pala si Oriana, Irelia pala mga Papi Chulo. At ayan, grabe naman, mga technique na ginagawa. Oy! Goodbye silog Mr. King, na inspire pa ang kuya mo. Double kill para kay Reaper. I'm so sorry kung naguluhan kayo sa shoutcast na yon, pero yun na yun. Who run the world, girls?
Seems
The
like
story.
this is definitely game from rite of passage. You saw there was a positioning mistake from Tigers,
Yun na nga.
and that should have been a win for the fight for rite of passage. But you know, 20k gold lead, all of these buffs on them, and this just gives them the second game for the matchup between University of Santo Tomas and Ateneo de Davao.
Isa lang ang sasabihin ko, paring Atlas. Called it! We called it! Ganyan ka. Ang galing ng analysis this kanina talaga. Yung naka-violet. Sino ba yun? Tsaka si Alpha. Called it. All one, baby boy.
Called it.
Called it. Pero kung si Gio yung nagsusulat nito, di ba? Gio,
G10.
G10, who run the world, girls? The headline. Masyadong matindi. Let's look into the stats of the game.
Wow. Reaper, everyone has been on point here from UST for this game. They were floundering in the first game, but now they focused, they were completely aware of their surroundings, they were in the unagi state of mind. So much damage come from Reaper. He really is the Reaper here.
The Reaper. Hindi, alam mo, nasabi mo na nung early stages ng matches, nalugi si Jin sa isang Karma sa mid lane. Hinaharas-haras siya ni Karma, hindi nakapag-farm unlike nung unang game na nakita natin yung Jin jungle. Pero ngayon, ay si Jin, mid lane with the cleanse, with the flash, trinay niya mag-survive. Pero the roots are real. Kahit sabihin mong makapag-root ng isa, na-cleanse niya, pero may kasunod na root.
Pa.
Yeah, diba?
Tsaka si George, hindi siya nakasabay sa pressure na binibigay ng Elise from the Team Tigers.
Yun na nga. Sa tingin ko kung nag-mid na lang sana yung Ezreal, pero wala tayong magagawa, tapos ang laban, all one. So both teams has 1 point. Kita natin yung bracketing natin kanina. Huwag kayong aalis mga kaibigan. Meron pa tayong third match. Makakasama natin mamaya si Mr. Iconic na nag-picture taking dito. Hoy, taga. Yan. Easy tayo dyan. Take it away, Mr. Atlas.
So yeah, and we'll be back after a very short break. The next matchup will be the Red Paladins versus Vindicator Esports. So watch out for that. That will be the last match for today. That will be, of course, 2 games. And of course, we have been your shoutcasters for this game. I am Marco Atlas Cañeda, and with me is Manjin Pandas.
Magbabalik po kami.
Chris, have you seen these comments lately?
Yep, I see him, Patrick.